In 2002, Diwakars Sharma came to Canada without knowing a single soul. Welcome, Diwakar.
Thank you, Sharon.
Can you tell me a little bit about why you did that? That's really gutsy.
Oh, sure. When I was thinking of choosing a destination for myself to study overseas, there were multiple options in front of me. My parents were telling me to choose US or UK because we have tons of relatives, uncles and aunts who were there in these countries, and we had no one we knew in Canada. And I was like, I don't want relatives to be spying on me and giving them all minute details about what I do, what I like to do in my personal life. So I opted for Canada.
Yeah, understood. This is making a lot of sense. So do you mind if I ask a few just quick questions and then we'll dive into the interview a little bit more?
Sure.
So do you like LGBT people?
Yes, I love LGBT people.
Okay, why?
I have lots of friends who identify themselves as one of the LGBT community members. That's why.
Love it. And what's the title of your power story?
Seize the opportunity.
Love it. Who do you help?
I help students, workers, immigrants, anyone in love, anyone who needs support.
Okay. And these are people in their former country, or are they in Canada already?
They can be overseas, they can be in Canada.
Okay. So what's the #1 result that you help them to achieve?
Help them settle down in Canada and be with their loved ones.
Beautiful. So how do you help them?
I try to listen to them first, understand, guide, and consult with them about their case.
Okay. And then you're cutting down on the paperwork, are you?
That's right.
Okay. What would you say is your #1 surprising secret of success?
I'm full of love, empathy, patience, and passion, and that helps me help my clients succeed.
Nice. I sense that. So do you have a free gift or a special offer for LGBT-friendly people?
For sure, Sharon. 10 minutes of free consultation and 30% off on all my legal fees.
I love that. And that's for LGBT friendly. So anybody who's watched this video, right?
LGBT friendly, any LGBT ally.
Nice. I love that. I think that's really beautiful. Can you tell me about someone that you helped?
I've helped a lot of people. There have been many cases where even LGBT community people were there. I helped. This was overseas in a country where it's very sensitive to talk about your sexual orientation. And at that time, I was recruiting for a university and doing a session at a particular agent's office. And this is a one-on-one interaction where students come in and you sit down with them and they talk to you about their issues. I'm there with this person. He walks into the office and he sits down, talks about what he wants to do in Canada. And then this individual is not comfortable with the other person in the room and tells me, can we both chat openly? And I don't want this person from my country to be here so that we can interact. And I asked the person, I'm like, would you allow us? And he goes out. Then this person opens up about his story as to what he feels that, yes, I'm born as X and I don't feel like being in this body. And I feel that if I tell this to my family and friends here, it's not going to be acceptable under that circumstances. Even my family won't support me. I want to move out and be in Canada. And is there real freedom in Canada? Can I be who I am, or can I be what I really want to be? And I was like, you are courageous that you discussed with someone you have never met before. Certainly Canada has those opportunities and you can succeed there and be who you are. You don't have to disclose all of this to people here in your home country because you're not going to be safe. So let's do the paperwork. Let's apply for the program for the university. And the person applied for that university, got the study permit and all, moved to Canada. And now the person goes by being a she, and is living a comfortable life here. And once in a while, I get to hear back from her, and we are good friends now. Yeah.
Wow, that gives me tingles down my spine just to hear that. And yeah, like I have a friend who's a top executive of one of the big 5 banks here in Canada. So it's not perfect. There are people who do face discrimination everywhere in the world, but Canada does have, it's getting better and better. And we do have a fairly open culture for LGBT people and people who've transitioned. A few of my friends are executives who's managed to transition while at work and did okay. So
they can do that in Canada, and they can do that in Canada in any progressive country, but not where they're being suppressed.
Right. Yeah. In some places, it's not a good idea. Any other stories you want to share about anyone that you've helped?
Oh yeah, this is even before I started working full-time as an immigration consultant, and I've been always curious about law and learning about things. This happened with a person who moved to Canada and was sponsored as a spouse. When this person came here, was in an abusive relationship, and at that point in time, there were certain conditions on permanent residence when you are sponsored to come to Canada. You must stay with your sponsor for a minimum period of 2 years. Otherwise, your permanent residence status could be revoked. And that person was in dilemma as to what to do, because the person wants to be here, but doesn't want to be in that abusive relationship. And the person gave into that relationship and was at the receiving end of all the abuses. But
and they were here when that was happening. They were in Canada,
yeah,
and they were
here in
recent
Canada.
immigrants.
The person who sponsored the person I'm talking about was in Canada and brought this person in, and then they were not in a very good relationship, being very abusive to the person who was brought in and threatening them that we are gonna get your PR revoked, we're gonna send you back to your home country, and they literally did. They took that person's credit card, booked their flight ticket, and sent them back to the home country and threatened that we are gonna see that you don't get to keep your PR. But sometimes you need to have good friends who know the system, and luckily we got in touch at the right time. And I said, you don't have to be afraid. Book your tickets back to Canada. Once you're in Canada, we will take it in the legal way. We went through legal aid division and applied, and we challenged that ruling by reaching out to the Citizenship Immigration Canada, because they already filed a complaint against this person that they wanted that PR to be removed and they wanted that person to be sent back to the home country forever. But we were able to satisfy the requirement of the Citizenship and Immigration. We had the proofs in hand that this person was at the receiving end. This person actually was staying with the person who sponsored the person and did all the things which any individual could do. But you have to survive. You have to live your life. You don't have to be in an abusive relationship. And we were waiting for a hopeful result. And I got a phone call that, hey, things worked out well. And IRCC took the right decision by allowing this person to stay in Canada. And we are still in touch. And this person now, for sure, refers me a lot of clients also and is a good friend.
Oh, that's so beautiful. I bet they were really excited. And what was the moment when you got the news? How did you feel?
I was like on another planet. I'm like, wow, this is great. We finally did it. And especially when this person was in a position where, imagine coming to Canada and you're being forced to work different shifts, and your salary checks are being taken by someone else. You're given a couple of $100s to survive, and then they had the audacity to file a complaint to get your PR revoked, and you able to help someone stay here. It's beyond an experience which anyone can have.
I love that. I really love that. So what if somebody, this is actually a common thing we hear about in, so I've done some counseling in the past, and this is one of the common stories we hear of people being, it's typically the wife is being abused by, depending on whatever gender of partner, often the women tend to be abused more, but it can be any gender that gets abused in a relationship. So if somebody is in a relationship with someone who's abusing them, would you be able to help out in that situation if they haven't been sent back? Or
Certainly we can. No one, once a PR card is given to you, it's yours to keep. It's no one else's property.
PR
Right?
card?
Yeah, it's a permanent resident card that's given
Okay.
to anyone who stays here, who gets an immigrant status. So no one can take it back unless and until you have done something which is illegal as per the Government of Canada norms. We can certainly help you maintain your status. Even if you have not received your PR card yet and you're not into a cordial relationship.
Wow. So I hope everybody who works in women's shelters will listen to this video, because this is a really common scenario. And if you can help in that scenario, you can save a lot of lives as
Certainly.
well as when people come to Canada. So I love that.
Mhm.
Wow. Thank you so much. Any other advice? Any advice that you would give someone in that situation or in other similar common situations that you find that you help them with?
That talk to somebody, reach out to someone. Don't keep thinking about the issue and try to solve it yourself. In a situation like that, you need support. You need people who can listen to you and not be judgmental about you. Worst thing you will do to yourself would be doubting yourself and putting yourself down by saying, maybe I did something wrong. That's why this relationship didn't work. For any relationship to work, it has to be two people. It has to be two families. It has to be wholesome group work to get everything worked out. You alone cannot do it. So just don't feel stressed, threatened. Reach out. There is counseling available. There's free counseling available as well. You have all the supports here in Canada. So go and talk to them.
I love that. Yeah, this is a really, really important point, because if you're in a relationship with a narcissist, they can mess with your head and they do gaslighting, and then you can start to doubt yourself or think, oh, did I do something wrong? Meanwhile, no, you're just with the wrong person sometimes. If you're doubting yourself and they're threatening you with trying to take away your immigration status, big red flag.
Yeah, by doubting yourself, you are actually empowering that person to do what they're doing, because they think that they are controlling you now. And then they're going to abuse you more.
Yeah, well, so it's important to not blame yourself and to take back your power and go, I'm getting out, I deserve better. So anyone who's in this situation, please say to yourself, take a deep breath and say, I deserve better. And repeat that as many times as you can while the abuser is not listening, please. And then you can contact the Assaulted Women's Helpline for free counseling. I'll put the number below in case anyone's got that situation. And then talk to Diwakar Sharma, because he's already helped people in your situation. You are not alone. This is a very common scenario for immigration to Canada. You deserve respect. You deserve equality. You deserve to have a life you love. So thank you so much, Diwakar, for talking with me today. Any last words you want to share with the listeners?
Remember that there's an offer for you, and you can get a 10 minutes of free consultation and 30% off on all my legal fees. So feel free to reach out to me. Thank you, Sharon.
Everybody who's LGBT friendly, not just LGBT friendly. If you're cool, talk to Diwakar. Thanks so much.
Most welcome. Thank you.